つまり脅迫メールは未来から送られてきたってこと？
How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Steins Linear Bounded Phenogram. So the last episode had two parts to it. The first part was finishing up Mayuri's route, which really ended in a direction I wasn't expecting. It felt a little heartbreaking in a way, and I kind of went into detail there as much as I could. It's kind of hard to explain the whole world line thing, and we didn't really get too much information on what exact world line that ended up on, and what all was lost. Like, what was the end result for Okabe? But I guess that's too far away from the main point of that story. But we did finish that one up, and then we jumped into the final route, which follows Okabe. So this is actually the second route that follows Okabe. The first one was obviously following him, and now this one, being the last, will also follow him. Which, yeah, I guess it makes sense. I couldn't think of another character that would make sense to follow. And I feel like they're going to go out with a banger story on this one, because right off the bat, I'm confused as fuck as to what is actually happening in this world line. We are far, far up on the numbers with the divergence, with the world line numbers, and I don't even think Okabe understands what's really going on in this world line. Shoot, we have a ransom note that was sent as a D-mail to us from an address that we've never seen before, so we're really just starting off hot. So let us continue.
らしいな。
どうしてどうやって犯人は未来のどこかでこのラボにある電話レンジを使ったって言うん？
知らん。
ねえ、そもそもマユリはすでにさらわれた後なのかな？未来にとっての過去は現在にとっての未来である可能性もあるでしょ？
日本語で OK。
だから脅迫状が D メールで送られてきたってことは、マユリはこれから誘拐されるのかもしれないってこと。
なるほど。ということは、
マユ氏に電話はかけてみたん？
まさかまだかけてないの？
仕方がないだろう。メールが届いたのはお前たちが帰ってくる直前のことだったんだぞ。
だったら今すぐかけなさいよ。ほら、早く。
I rushed to dial Mayuri's number. Then...
ちょっと待って。何なのよ、この音。
これってマユ氏の携帯の
着信音だ。
Following the sound, we scour the office for its source. It doesn't take long to find it. When I removed a Upa cushion, come on game, from the couch, there it was, Mayuri's cell phone.
あのバカ！携帯を置いていったんだ。
弱ったわね。
それじゃあルカ氏のところにかけてみたら？
なんだと？
ほら、僕とマキセ氏が買い出しに出かける前に言ってたじゃん。あさってのコミまでマユ氏が作ったコスを着てくれるように、これからルカ氏のところに頼みに行くって。
My hands were moving before Daru finished his sentence. I whip out my cell phone and try calling Lukako. Come on now. Wait, why do we have our self in our contacts list? I never noticed that.
はい、漆原です。
ルカ子、そこにマユリは？
ただいま、
Oh
電
my
話に出る
god.
ことができません。
Damn, voicemail.
ピー
My one true enemy.
伝言をどうぞ。
俺だ、今日もだ。マユリを探している。これを聞いたら大至急連絡をくれ。
留守電？
はあ。
Silence descends. I can hear the sound of the cicadas from somewhere. You know, maybe outside. Is that a car? Motorcycle? What is that? A motorcycle passes by outside the window. As that sound faded, Daru spoke up.
なあ、犯人に直接連絡してみるっていうのはどう？ I chain his snake。アドレスは分かってるわけだしさ。
だがメールを送ってきた I chain his snake は未来の I chain his snake なんだぞ。長ったらしくて鬱陶しい。ひとまずいくつとでも呼んでおくか。
いくつ？
各単語のイニシャルを取って ICHS いくつだ。
Works for me, actually. It also sounds like X, an unknown variable. Yeah, I can roll with it. That's probably one of the few things that Okabe has actually stated that isn't really that cringy. It's actually not a bad idea.
私も賛成よ。このままじゃ手がかりが足りなすぎるし、相手の出方を伺ってみるのも一つの手だと思うわ。
だがなんて送ればいい？
話がしたい。それだけで十分じゃない？
Yeah, I'm down with it.
前売りとか例のものとか余計な情報は与えずに。
I couldn't decide. Should I or should I not send Ix a message? What if contacting them causes something to happen to Mayuri? Of course, we don't know if Mayuri had been kidnapped yet, or whether she'll even be kidnapped at all. But it's clear that something poses an imminent threat to Mayuri. I don't think this message is just a prank. For one thing, it's a D-mail. They sent it across time. It seems certain to me that something terrible has happened, or is about to happen. But that also means that waiting around does nothing, or around doing nothing won't guarantee Mayuri's safety either, excuse me. Besides, the idea that someone other than a lab mem sent this D-mail, something that we've glossed over because of the immediate threat of the ransom note, is troubling as well. This is a dangerous situation that could have major impacts on the history of the world. We've got to find out who Ix is, no matter what. So there was only one response I could give.
わかったよ。
Alrighty, here we go. Oh man, honestly, this has been a very exciting fucking start. I'm gonna be real with you guys. Not to say that there haven't been some exciting starts to some of these routes, but this one has been really exciting. It feels like old school Steins Gate, where there's just mystery everywhere. I wonder how long. Alright, game. Never mind. I'm reminded that this isn't old school Steins Gate all of a sudden. I wonder how long it's been since I sent the message. 5 minutes? 6? 7? Still no reply. I watched the second hand of the clock on the wall tick the time away.
とにかくこのままじっとしてても仕方がないわ。動きましょう。
Kirisu spoke, as if to dispel the heavy atmosphere that had taken over or overtaken the room.
私は柳林神社に行ってみるから、岡部はコインロッカーの方を頼むわ。犯人が姿を見せるかもしれないし。
例のものについてはどうする？
それが何なのかわからない以上、どうすることもできないでしょ。
手ぶらで行けと？
嫌なら菓子折りの一つでも持って行ったら？
僕は
橋田はここで待機。もしかしたら真由里が戻ってくるかもしれないから。
オキドキ。
それじゃあ何かあったら連絡して。私もするから。
了解だ。
Honestly, having Daru here is all fine and dandy. He could probably do some computer work to maybe figure out the identity of whoever sent this D-mail. I'm sure it's possible to do some tracing. But also, I kind of would have liked to have him with us, just so that we have somebody with us as we're going to the area we were told to go to. Upon my response, Kirisu left the lab. I thought of following her out, but I stopped right before I opened the door and turned around. There was something I had to confirm.
どうかしたん？
いや、ちょっとな。
I deflect his question and move into the development room. I turn to the shelves to see a big, recognizable cardboard box. Inside it was the IBN 5100. This is probably the item that they're talking about. This is most likely Moeka, the Rounders, Mr. Braun, somebody.
あるのか、この世界線では。
I breathe a small sigh of relief. But if this is really you-know-what, we're going to be in some real trouble. Anyway, there's no way I could let this fall into enemy hands. After returning the box to its proper place, I hurry to the coin lockers in front of Daibaru. Okay, well, it looks like Okabe's starting to, collect his thoughts, get his bearings together. Obviously, we don't really know what's, been happening in the story so far with Okabe. We don't know if he's been trying to save Mayuri, or if he's just been dicking around and jumping around. But it sort of seems like he changed world lines as he was leaping back. That's kind of what it seems like here. It has been about an hour since I started my surveillance. I hid in the shadows, watching closely, but there was no sign of Ix. I've already received a call from Kirisu. Lukako was, in fact, at Yanabayashi Shrine. Apparently, he couldn't pick up because he was in the bathroom. But that's not important. The problem is what Kirisu said after that.
マユリ、来てないって。
I swallow my saliva. As loath as I am to admit it, why is that whatever. That fact made the ransom note significantly more credible. This game sometimes. Could Mayuri have been kidnapped on her way to Yanabayashi Shrine? Kirisu said that she'd check other places where Mayuri might go, and hung up the phone. My heartbeat accelerates. My stomach starts throbbing in pain. Just a moment later, Lukako called. Makase-san told me everything. I got your voicemail too. I'll help you look for Mayuri-chan. Lukako spoke with worry in his voice, which only made me feel more restless. After I had finished my conversation, I heard a cell phone ring. But it wasn't mine. It was Mayuri's. I guess I unconsciously put it in my pocket after finding I found it at the lab. What the fuck? The caller ID displayed Luka-kun. Kirisu probably didn't mention that Mayuri had left her cell phone behind. And that's why Lukako is calling. I didn't pick up. I thought it better to preserve the remaining battery. It's possible Mayuri's phone might receive a more critical party. Excuse me. I wanted to save the battery just in case. Afterwards, I tried calling Ferris, but she didn't know where Mayuri was either. I asked Daru to check Mei Queen Yanyan, but his luck wasn't any better. When I called Mayuri's home, her mother picked up. She said Mayuri hadn't come home yet. I decided not to mention Mayuri's abduction to her so as not to scare her. All of this has happened in the last hour. I take a bite of the sweet red bean-filled onpan in my hand, whatever that is, and wash it down with packaged milk to mitigate my stress. Another 5 minutes pass, but nobody who looks like they might be a kidnapper or the kidnapper arrives. I mean, a kidnapper's not going to look suspicious. That's how they get away with this shit. I throw the rest of the bread in my mouth and down the remainder of the milk. All that remained in my hand were the wrapper from the bread and the empty pack of milk. In other words, trash. I looked around for a place to throw them away, but couldn't find a trash bin anywhere near. Left with no other choice, I twist the bread wrapper and the milk pack together into a stick shape and stick the garbage stick into the pocket of my lab coat. But as I did, my fingertips were greeted with something unexpected. Paper. A piece of paper is in my pocket. I slowly pull it out. It looked like an ad or something. An advertisement folded into quarters. What you'd call a flyer. On the flyer was written the following. 8th Regional Akiba Invention Contest. Grand prize, a whopping 3 million. Entry period August 1st to 31st, 2010. Let your innovation build the future.
対象賞金300万
Shit, like, I'm looking at the award details. Invention Grand Prize, one winner prize 3 million yen. And I don't know if that's like a follow-up there, but it's like a 1 million yen prize. And then Invention Achievement, 10 winners, 500,000 yen each. I mean, that's still a whole bunch of money right there. Someone hit me in the shoulder from behind. As I jumped and turned around, standing there was... Oh.
クリスティーナ
ビビりすぎ。
ビビって飛びのいたわけではない。反撃の構えをしたまで。お前は気づかなかったかもしれないが、すでに3発俺はお前の鼻頭めがけて寸止めのパンチを繰り出している。命拾いしたな。
で、いくつは？
聞いてるのか、人の話。
その様子だとまだ誰も現れてないみたいね。
I nodded, lightly biting the inside of my cheek.
そもそもこんなところで張り込みを続けていても意味がないんじゃないか。
どうして？
イクスはこちらからの連絡を待って動くつもりなんだろう。例のものはロッカーに入れた。番号は何番だ。その情報を得てからじゃないとここにやってきても無駄足になってしまう。第一、鍵はどうする？鍵がかかっていたら手も足も出まい。おそらくイクスはいずれ何らかの形で鍵の受け渡し方法についても指示してくるはず。奴が動くのはきっとそれからだ。
じゃあしてみたら？
え？
連絡してみたらって言ってるの。もう一度イクスにメールを送るのよ。例のものはロッカーに入れた。番号は何番だってメールを。
嘘をつけと。
Kirisu nods. When suddenly the phone rang. Not mine, but Mayuri's. I pulled it out to see one unread message. From Lukako. I open it and read the following. It was a message concerning Mayuri's safety. Perhaps he decided to send her a message after calling her so many times without an answer. It's certainly admirable. But, no offense to Lukako, it's not going to help us get Mayuri back. Kirisu, looking at at my screen over my shoulder, also looks disappointed. I sigh and close the message from Lukako. And as I was about to put away Mayuri's cell phone...
待って！
Kirisu stops me.
今のメール、もう一度見せてもらえる？あ、メールじゃなくて、メールボックスの方、受信欄が見たいの。
I comply and open the messages inbox. Okay, what the fuck is that? There were 4 separate messages. At the very top was the message from Lukako that we just received. But what are the ones below it? These 3 messages all lined up. What the fuck? What the hell is all this shit?
D メール。
And what kind of domain name is taboo.co?
やっぱり。アドレス帳に登録されてない送信者のメールが3通並んでたから、もしかしたらと思ったんだけど。
意味は？
え？
この3通のメールに書かれている文章の意味だ。
そんなのわかるわけないでしょ。どう見たってデタラメな文字列だし。
文字化けしてるってことか。
もしくは暗号化されてるか。
Encrypted. I get an unpleasant taste on the tip of my tongue, as if the milk I drank earlier had stuck to my mouth and gone sour.
送信者は何者？イクスとは別人なのかしら。
アドレスは違うな。アカウント名もドメインも こっちはタブー .co.jp になってるから。
PC から送られてきたメールってことね。
だと思う。
サイドキックって名前に心当たりは？
I shake my head without a word. If she's asking me, then she probably isn't familiar with it either. I don't know why I was fucking up there. Still.
一体何がどうなってるって言うんだ。どうしてラボ面でもない人間が立て続けに2通もの D メールを。
立て続けの順番は逆みたいだけどね。こっちの D メールの受信時刻は15時18分になってるでしょ。一方イクスから送られてきた D メールの方は
16時3分だ。届いたのは。つまり2通の D メールが届いたタイミングはサイドキックの方が先でイクスの方が後ってことになるわけか。
なあ、
Ah, fucking shit. I know who this is.
うるさい。ちょっと黙っててくれ。大事なところなんだ。
てめえ殺されてえのか。
なんだと。
I put Mayuri's cell phone in my pocket and turn around. Come on, game. There, a man stands shining in front of me, as if Gaia had whispered his beautiful purpose to him on the wind. Huh? Wait. I recognize this guy. I dig deep into my memories. As I stare at the man's face, squinting my eyes, a streak of light descended upon me.
4度 C 貴様だったのか、イクスは。
はあ。
マイリはどこだ。どこにいる。
I grabbed the 4D's shoulders, roughly shaking him left and right and back and forth.
お前やめろか。離せって。
Why are we calling him that?
ちょっとどういうことなのよ、岡部。
What was his name? Was it 4 degrees Celsius? Is that why we're calling him 4D?
うるさい。お前は黙ってろ。
マユリなんて知らねえよ。
とぼけるな、4度 C。いや、イクス。
イクスって誰だよ。それに 4°C でもねえし。
アイチェインヒズスネークはお前のアカウント。そうだろ。
誰か来て。この人おかしいです。
本当か。本当に知らないって言うのか。
だから知らねえって言ってんだろうか。
Why did this guy even approach us then? 4D violently knocked my hands away from him when at the anything part. Okay, game. The game's really just getting worse. That or I am. He creates a short distance between us. I lower my line of sight and see that 4D was holding something unsettling. Something like a crowbar. What the fuck? In fact, it was a crowbar. Crowbar, get hit, die. After the succession of thoughts bolts through my mind, I strike the wait, no need to be rash pose. And then I speak.
待て、早まるな。
なんだと。
お前は本当にメールのことは知らないんだな。
岡部、
なんだ。
イクスが送ってきたのは D メール。この人が犯人であろうとなかろうと未来に送信されるメールについて知ってるはずがないでしょ。
おい、何ごちゃごちゃ言ってんだ。
わかった。それでは一つだけ聞かせてくれ。いや、見せてくれ。お前の携帯を。
なんでだよ。
I thought for about 2 seconds and then I spoke.
ストリート C の最前線を突っ走っているお前のことだから、最高にクールな伊達割る携帯を持ってるんじゃないかと思ってな。
That's a lie, of course. But the 4D easily fell for my ruse, relaxing into a grin and handing over his cell phone. His cell phone was a model that didn't support the carrier that Ix was using.
信じても良さそうね。
I give him an honest apology.
すまなかった。人違いだったようだ。
人違いで済まされるか、ボケ。
抑えて。
時に 4°C よ。
指導だ。
なあ、そうだったな。
Okay, there it
数字の
is.
4に温度の度で指導。
なんでお前俺のこと知ってんだ。
知ってるから知ってるんだ。知ってる理由は俺も知らん。それよりも指導、お前こんなところで何をしている？
それはこっちのセリフだ。お前かれこれ1時間以上ここにいるだろ。迷惑なんだよ。仕事の邪魔だ。とっとと失せろ。さもないと俺のヤバすぎる黒のオーラに巻き込まれることになるぜ。
Ah, yeah, there it is.
仕事ってなんだ？まさかお前いくつに雇われて？
ちっげえよ。俺は誰にも雇われてなんかいない。伊達悪界の頂点に君臨するこの俺様は誰にも支配なんかってやべ。
Okay. That was sudden. 4 degrees Celsius caught a glimpse of something over my shoulder and turned around and ran away. When I turned around, I saw a police car. Oh, okay. It drove by slowly for a bit and then moved along as if nothing had happened.
あいつ何者？
多分別の世界線であったんだろ
どういうこと？
う。すまん、うまく説明できないんだ。記憶がはっきりとしなくてな。俺が今までどんな世界線を経験してきたのかもわからないし、ここがどんな世界線になっているのかも謎だ。逆に問いたい。ここは一体どんな世界線なんだ？鈴葉は知ってるか？天音鈴葉。
もちろん。ブラウン管工房でバイトしてた子でしょ？
してた。過去形だな。
だって何日か前に辞めちゃったじゃない。
ラジカンのタイム人工衛星は？
それとどんな関係があるのかわからないけど突然消えちゃったわ。
そうか。そうだよな。
A heavy weight presses down on my chest. Alright, we're starting to get some context as to what Okabe has been through. The IBN 5100 was in the lab's development room. That would mean that. It was just a guess, but when confronted with the reality in front of my eyes, my chest started to hurt.
秋葉は燃えているか？
は？
あ、いや、答える必要はない。ここに来るまでの間にすでに見てきた。街には萌え系のショップが溢れていた。アニメイトも虎の穴もマンダラケもゲーマーズもラムタラもメロンブックスも遊びットシティも存在していた。
だから何？
ルカ子は男か？
I ignore her question to ask my own.
そう聞いたけどやっぱり違うの？
いや、男だ。男のはず。そうでなければ前売りの携帯のアドレス帳にルカ君と登録されているはずがないからな。もしもあいつが女なら登録名はルカちゃんでないとおかしい。
わかったわ。
Kirisu responded, looking fed up.
今あんたが話したこと 99% は理解できなかったけど残りの 1% については分かった。とにかく例のリーディングしたいなとかいうやつが発動したのね。あんたは別の世界線のどこかで D メールを送り、その結果この世界線へと移動してきたと。
We also jumped back. Like we jumped 2 hours back for some reason.
違うんだよクリスティーナ。ことはそんなに単純なものではない。と言っても気づいたのはついさっきのことだが。
I lightly push up the bridge of the glasses I'm not wearing and continue.
よく聞け女子よ。俺はおそらくタイムリープしてきたんだ。
A moment of silence. Kitasu froze like Villager A under a petrification spell, but she eventually let out a breath and spoke.
嘘。
嘘ではない。
冗談でしょ。
冗談でもない。俺はこの世界線上の未来から16時ちょっと前へと時間を遡ってきたんだ。
タイムリープマシンを使ったっていうの？
そうだ。
どうして？実験はしないって言ったじゃない。
理由はわからん。覚えてないんだ。
その割にはさっきの話よどみなく喋ってたわよね。別の世界線での出来事については覚えてるみたいな口ぶりだった。
ああ、そうだな。だがこの世界線のことについては何もわからないんだよ。
I pulled out the flyer from earlier and held it up in front of Kitasu's eyes.
このチラシは何だ？秋葉発明コンテスト。俺はこんなものをポケットに入れた覚えはないぞ。スケッチブックの件についてもそうだ。我が神聖なる未来ガジェット研究所にあんなものは存在しなかったはず。それからマユリのことも、マユリがさらわれるなんて歴史についても俺は何も知らないんだ。
We convincing her now? As I finished my frustrated rant, Kitasu lowered her eyes and looked away sadly. As an advertisement truck for a net cafe passes by, blaring its annoying message at us. Even after it had passed, things never really went silent. The bustle of the city bounced around in between the buildings.
失敗したんだ。
Failed?
記憶データの転送ミス。コピー&ペーストに失敗したのよ。もしかしたら岡部の仮説が正しかったのかもしれない。過去へ転送したデータが何らかのミスによってフラクタル構造化してしまう可能性もある。そう言ったでしょ。
それで俺は記憶喪失に。
わからないけど、可能性の一つとしては考えられないこともないわ。いずれにせよ確かなことが一つだけある。タイムリープマシンは欠陥品だったってこと。
That's an absolute first.
いや、そんなはずはない。別の世界線では正常に機能していたんだ。
じゃあこの世界線での私がミスったんでしょ。何らかの重大なバグを取りこぼしてしまったのよ。
I look up to see a crimson sky. The night was slowly creeping toward us from the east.
ねえ岡部、もう一度だけ聞くけど、本当にタイムリープする前のことは覚えてないの？
I nodded.
それってなんていうかちょっとまずいんじゃない？
どういうことだ？
さっきも言ったけど、岡部はタイムリープマシーンの実験はしないって宣言したわよね。にもかかわらずあんたはマシーンを使って16時ちょっと前へと飛んできたってことは、タイムリープする直前に何か深刻な事態が発生したと考えられるわ。
Something did happen, and it is the 13th. The 13th has always been that baseline day where Mayuri was gonna get shot or killed or die or whatever.
マシンを使わざるを得ない状況に追い込まれたのよ。
My flesh crawls at her words. I felt every sweat gland on my body open up.
しつこいようだけど、もう一度思い出してみて。タイムリープする前に何があったのか、つまりこれから何が起こるのか。どうしてもダメなら、まずは取っかかりとして今この時刻に何をしてたか、そこから順を追って辿ってみるのも一つの手よ。
I look at my watch. It's 6:13. What was I doing at this time?
そうだクリスティーナ、俺はお前と買い出しに出かけたんだ。
買い出しって何の？
開発評議会のだ。
I had decided not to use the time leap machine, but we still wanted to celebrate finishing it, so we decided to throw a party and call it a development summit.
おかしい。だって買い出しだったらさっき私と橋田が。
ああ、そうだな。この世界線ではそういうことになっているようだ。しかし俺が知っている世界線では買い出しに行くのは俺とお前の二人なんだ。
で、それから何があったの？その世界線では。
買い出しを終えてラボに戻ると3枚の宅配ピザがテーブルの上に積み重なっていた。
3枚も？誰が食べるのよ。
Daru.
愚問だな。
橋田がほとんど平らげたのね。
その通り。ピザを頼んだのは誰だ？俺とお前が買い出しに行っている間に注文を。
その後は？
その後は
During the party, we'd left the TV on and heard an emergency news report. Yeah, it's all coming back to me now.
まずい。
え？
まずい。まずいぞ。
なんなのよ。何があったっていうの？
A memory buried deep below the others. A scar that I thought I had already healed. Resurrects. Vividly. As if gouging its way out of me. Yep, there it be. No, wait, don't panic, just calm down. That was from another world line, right? It didn't God fucking damn it. It didn't happen here, where we have a sketchbook in the lab, and where I'm carrying a flyer for an invention contest. While I managed to convince my head, I couldn't calm down the trembling in my chest. My heart is beating like crazy. Vicious sweat poured from my body. What do I do? What do I do? I need to do whatever it takes to keep Mayuri safe. Then there is only one thing to do. D-mail. I quickly take out my cell phone and called Daru, excuse me.
誰？俺だ。
オカリン、マユシは？
まだ見つかっていない。だが見つける方法が一つだけある。
それは？
D メールだ。D メールを使う。
ちょっと岡部！
うるさい、黙ってろ。誰？大至急電話レンジカッコ仮の準備を。
オッケー。転送先と時間は？
転送先は俺の携帯。時間はマユリが確実にラボにいたのはいつだ
？15時16分。さっき携帯の発信履歴を確かめたから間違いないよ。
どういうことだ？
思い出したんだ。マキセ氏と買い物してる時に一度マユ氏に電話をかけたこと。どのお菓子にするかでマキセ氏と揉めちゃって、それでマユ氏に決めてもらおうと。
その時は確かにラボにいたんだな。
うん。まだルカ氏のところに行かないんって聞いたら、もうちょっとしたら出るって。
わかった。ではその時間に D メールを送ってくれ。計算は任せる。
了解。魔改造しといてよかったわ。
Huh? Magic mod? What is he talking about? I asked, but I received no response. Daru had already let go of the cell phone and seems like he's making preparations. Whatever. I know what I need to do. I have to write a D-mail. I decided to borrow Mayuri's cell phone since mine was occupied with the call to Daru. The recipient is, of course, the phone wave, name subject to change. This is my message. Keep Mayuri keep Mayuri in to stop kidnapping. Okay, I see.
ねえ岡部、もう少し冷静になって考えた方が。
俺は冷静だ。
そうは見えないけど。
The utmost priority right now is to secure Mayuri's safety. We still haven't determined that she's been kidnapped, but at this point, the facts didn't matter. As long as I send this email, Mayuri will...
オカリン、準備できたお？
よし、電話レンジカッコ仮起動。
I hear the spattering sound of sparks from the phone.
放電現象来たー！
了解。
I take Mayuri's cell phone and press send. So are we gonna jump world lines here? Yep. Oh, we still like way up there. Holy fuck. Where are we? Holy shit. The faded world distorts and deforms. A piercing pain explodes deep inside my ears and I grit my teeth. I lose balance and grasp onto a nearby roadside tree. I can feel people's suspicious eyes on me from all around. My dizziness eventually subsided and the world regained its color. I let go of the tree, shook my head, and looked around in a circle.
ここは UPX の前か。
And then right behind me... Oh.
京馬どうしたにゃ？
What the fuck? What are you wearing? A cat girl was standing there.
フェイリス、お前どうしてこんなところに？
どうしてって、さっきからずっとここにいたにゃ。
I didn't quite understand the situation. I wasn't even sure why I was here in the first place. However, I certainly knew what had happened. Reading Steiner, the world line has changed.
そうだ、マユリ。マユリはどうなった？
I look to my left as I mutter. Mayuri's cell phone, which I held in my hand just a minute ago, had disappeared. Checking my pockets yielded only that flyer and my cell phone. So we still have the flyer here. That has to have some sort of significance. I opened it up and called Mayuri. Oh, there she is.
てれー、まゆしーです。
マユリ、マユリ！
わあ、おかり、声大きいよ。もしかして怒ってる？
I'm not mad, of course I wasn't mad. As I take a deep sigh of relief, I put my hand back on the nearby tree.
マユリ、お前今どこにいる？
ラボだよ。先に帰ってきちゃったんだ。携帯の充電が切れちゃって連絡できなかったの。ごめんね。
I don't really know what she's talking about.
ちなみにクリスちゃんもラボにいるよ。ちょうど今帰ってきたところだけど。
It's just getting more confusing. But whatever. Mayuri's on the phone with me now. I know where she is, the lab. Mayuri is at the lab, and that's enough for me.
マユリ、ラボにいろ。絶対にそこを動くなよ。いいな。
わかったよ。
Nice call. After I hung up, I give Ferris, who was standing there puzzled, a simple farewell and then rushed to the lab. What were we doing here? Why was she dressed like that? That had to be some sort of significance. Alright, before we end this episode... Yep, okay, all we have here is... Okay. Just what we sent as a D-mail. We have nothing else. I'm trying to see if there's like any hints to there being something different here, and it doesn't seem like it. Okay. Yeah, we will end it here. This has been very interesting so far. I am just really digging whatever the fuck is happening. And I'm excited to see where this all goes. There's that whole name of this chapter here, The Abduction Across Three Worlds. I wonder what that means. Also, I just realized that when Okabe spilled his Dr. Pepper on that sketchbook, Aura was giving me a warning back in Suzuha's route to make sure that we don't spill something. I think that's what he meant. I think I finally got that one. I was a little late to that, but it's all good. At least I realized it. And we actually got some context in this one. We have an idea of what Okabe has gone through. We don't really know what his goals are here because obviously he wants to keep Mayuri alive, and it's hard to really know what he's gone through because his memory is fucked up. So I guess instead of him, jumping world lines when we entered this route, he did a time leap in this route, or in that world line, that original world line we were in, and it fucked up his memory. So that is a first. We have not seen that. The time leaping has been the most consistent thing in this entire game. We've seen Okabe in Steins Gate 0 actually time leap a shit ton of time back, which is brutal as hell, but he was able to, and it worked. I don't know if you could say flawlessly, but it worked well enough to get him back literally years and years and years. It's crazy. So yeah, just I can't believe that actually failed, and now we're in a situation where Okabe is uncertain of events that have occurred, and it's going to be hindering our progress here. I have no idea what's going to happen next, but I think that the title of this route, we need to keep that shit in mind. Something is going on, and I'm sure we'll figure it out as we continue along. So thank you all for watching this episode. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy.